King 2 here, man. New Alpha Comics in History, man. I'm here about, talking about our Cosmic War series. This is a deep series, man, and we put all the abstracts into these, everybody in their places. I'm saying, and, everybody was going through their multiverse of madness, doing their movies, doing this. And meanwhile, while they were doing that, we was doing our Cosmic Wars. And she turned to find out, we was right. I'm saying, our storyline was right. Everybody else got to follow now. I'm saying, so this is what they're doing. As far as with the Celestials, End of Time, Eternity Wars, After Secret Wars, all of that. These are all things coming into play. I'm saying, I just want to let you know this is a show. This is a showcase of our series, the Cosmic Wars, to let you know that we was right about everything. And so that's all I want you to see and enjoy what's going on, man. King 2, man. North Comics History, man. Enjoy. Let's go. King 2 here. New Alpha Comics in History. Here we go. Back with another one. Now this one, I'm going with a whole new theory now. I went back, I watched Thor Dark World, I went back, I watched Ragnarok, I watched only Hela. I'm saying I want to know everything about Hela, what she was doing, what she was saying, everything. I'm saying, because all of these things are all connected to Noel. And I'm gonna break it all down, everything. Now I'm gonna start with Noel. Obviously, they bring him in to the comics in 2018. But they have, Guardians of the Galaxy come out in 2014. And they put some of his origin story in the MCU movies before he was even created. So now they create Noel in 2018. And obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy already got a Celestial's head cut off. And it just flows right into everything. You know what I'm saying? So now, you have Noel out in the comics. Then, all of a sudden, you have Gore the God Butcher. He also is linked to Noel because he literally is wielding the all-black Necro Sword. Now, we all know from reading Noel and looking at his comics that the first Symbolite was the Necro Sword. That's the first Symbolite. Now, I'm involving Hela in this because she has Necro Swords, all black Necro Swords, all black. She can produce any type of weapon, but it's all black and it's Necro. Her armor is Symbolite. When she goes like this, and her horns come up, it moves. You can hear it. You can hear the sound of the Symbolite. The same sound you hear with Venom and all that. It's a connection there that obviously Marvel put there and we didn't even notice it. You know what I'm saying? We just seen Hela and that was it. You know what I'm saying? We really didn't analyze Hela. They didn't give us no history on Hela. They actually, in the comics, they literally changed up Hela's whole origin story. In the comics, she was Loki's daughter. So they changed up everything. That's why I'm putting Hela with Noel and Gore the God Butcher. Because they all got Necro swords and Symbolite abilities. And it all comes from Noel. Now, another thing I want to talk about is Thanos. We all believe that, the comics, they changed up Thanos' point of view. His motivations, his power set, everything toward protection of the universe. And obviously we watched Infinity War and Endgame and all of that. But I found something out in my own video. Gave me an idea because I said something in my video that, we'd do anything to impress a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it had me thinking, like, wait a minute. Now that we know more about Thanos with watching Eternals, and we see Star Fox and Pip the Troll, and now we know that Star Fox is in the MCU, that's Thanos' brother, and he was a Prime Eternal. that spoke to Ancestrals. Now, we don't know if he spoke to Arasham, but we know that he was speaking to Ancestral. So we know that Thanos knows about Ancestrals. He knows about, Eternals, all that, because he was an Eternal. So why would Thanos go against the Eternals? Why would he go against the Ancestrals? Yeah, he said Infinity Wars that he told them to destroy half the population. And they looked at him as he was a monster. But why would he go planet to planet, killing people, half the population? If he takes away the population, he stops the Ancestrals from hatching. Why would he go against that, when that's his birthright, to be an Eternal and to basically help create life? Now, we haven't had any backstory on Thanos. Nothing. We only can get bits and pieces about Thanos. Like how he said to Gamora, like, this was my destiny, but I let it go. I fell back from it once in the blue, and I'm not doing it again. So he's saying that something deterred him from doing this, from going planet to planet, and taking away half the population. So something deferred him from that. That's really all we got from Thanos. And it's way more to it. So hopefully in Eternals 2, they give him more of a backstory with Thanos. But here's my theory. I think that he met Lady Death, the whole storyline in the comics. I think it's a go. I think it's a go. I think that Lady Death was a big influence on Thanos. Think about this. The Black Order. These are kids that he adopted, brought to the fold, raised, trained. But why name them the Black Order? Why? That's most of their names basically is black. Means black. Ebony Maw, Colt City, and Approximate Midnight. All these things are black. To go along with, obviously, Hela, Necro Swords, black. Gore the God Butcher, Necro Sword, black. And then you got the King in black himself. No. All of this stuff is connected. Why would Thanos name all these people the Black Order? It's a lot going on. It's crazy. Marvel is really, really playing with us. They got us looking at Doctor Strange and the multiverse and this, that, all this stuff. They got us over here looking at this. But meanwhile, stuff is going on over here. It's going on. They got all types of storylines. Just think about that, man. I'll be back. King 2, out. King 2, you out for Comics and History, man. I'm back, man. Part 2, man. Listen, we stumbled on to something here, man. I've been doing my little research again, man. We stumbled on to a cosmic war. I'm saying it's a cosmic war going on. And we ain't gonna see none of this for about 2 years. At least 2 years. Till Eternals 2 come out. I'm saying right now everybody dealing with the multiverse war and King the Conqueror and Doctor Strange and the Dark Hole and all that type of stuff. But we going past that right now. This is what we doing throughout for Comics History. I'm saying we passed that already. You know what I'm saying? So we dealing with, the dark versus light war. This is what we dealing with. First of all, obviously, Null is the top dog. I'm saying he's running everything, and he's, going to be the big bad. The Necro Swords, the Symbolites, all of that. Like I said, you can go to my video about Null, the big bad, and you can see the whole origin story there. So I'm not going to run that down. What I really want to run down is about Hela. Hela is a Symbolite, pure Symbolite. Odin. And I went back and heard what she was saying about Odin. How, at first, obviously millions of years ago, wherever, how long it was, when they was conquering it, when Odin was a conqueror, you know, he was not good. He was bad. Odin was bad. So him and Hela was conquering the 9 realms. So Odin was not good. So who is his baby mother? Who is Hela's mother? Now here's my theory. Lady Death. Lady Death is Hela's mother. I think we were all gonna get our whole tops blown off about this one, because we got no backstory on Odin. We don't know nothing. They literally gave us a little piece of Odin. That's it. They never show Odin flex his muscles. They never show nothing. No backstory, nothing. You really literally have to go watch Dark World to see Odin. You know, and Odin, the way he talks, he does not like what he is. He does not. He knows that he did bad things in his life, and he does not take any credit for what he's doing now. You know, Loki, at one scene, Loki was talking to Loki, and Loki was like, he said, what you did in New York was terrible, type of stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you know what, Loki, like, no, I'm the rightful king of Earth. Like, what are you talking about? I'm a god. You know what I'm saying? And Odin looked at him and said, we are not gods. We ain't gods. We ain't omnipotent. We live and we die. You understand what I'm saying? Odin is not, he's not jacking where he is. He's basically ashamed of what he did. So it's way more to it. It's way more to it. I believe that Odin and Lady Death had Hela. And that explains in Ragnarok when Odin was telling Thor about Hela. And you can see the look on Loki's face. Loki knew about Hela. He knew. He knew about Hela. And you know where he knew about Hela from? Thanos. Thanos. That's the connection. Everybody, all the YouTubers. I mean, I've seen 1,000 videos. We just could not get our head around. Why would Thanos, who doesn't trust anybody, give the most untrustworthy man in the universe the Mind Stone? He gave him the Mind Stone. Like, here you go. Because Loki and Thanos have a connection. Hela. Thanos had to run down the whole thing to him. The whole family tree. He had to. Loki knew about Hela. Now, I will debate anybody on that. Get in the comments. But it's definitely a cosmic war. Dark against light. Now, you know, my whole opinion of Thanos is different. He was a villain. A pure villain. You know, but was he? This is what I want to say now. Do we have a right to live? You know, do we have a right to live? Is life right? Or is we the bad guys? You know, just think about this. Before all universes started, before everything for any life was made, before we was made, you had the Void, you had Null, you had Malachi, you had other, you know, dark beings, people that lived in the dark. Like Null said, the Void produces. The Void has teeth. You know what I'm saying? They've been producing life, but their life, their whole thing was going on. And before, you know, eternity came and made the Celestials. And I'm saying eternity because eternity was actually mentioned in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when Ego gave his son, Star-Lord, a taste of his power and gave him the origin story of his life. And you see him when his eyes lit up and he looked up and he said, eternity. He's seen eternity. So, I mean, that's another part we just like, it goes right over our heads. But he's seen eternity. Because eternity in the comics created all the Celestials. He created Arishem, and then he created all the Celestials to create life, to keep him alive, though. It wasn't like eternity wasn't trying to help us, like breed us. No, eternity was trying to keep himself alive. This is the cosmic way of things. Like it doesn't matter. Like eternity was trying to keep himself alive by creating Celestials to keep it light. By creating light. That's it. That's all. And so you have to ask yourself, is our existence right? That's if you watch The Dark World, Malachi said something that killed me. He said, your universe wasn't even supposed to be made. This is what's going on. Like, yo, it is a whole nother fraction of life that's in the dark. That felt like eternity and the Celestials invaded in their domain. And they want revenge for that. So it's a big cosmic war. Marvel does this. It's like, if you ain't in the know, you just gonna be left behind. This is real talk right now. We're talking. This is bigger than the multiversal war. All of that. I'm saying this is actually gonna come after the multiversal war. So we're gonna deal with this multiversal war for years. But this is coming after that. We are the enemies of the original inhabitants of the cosmos. It's something else, man. King 2, out. All right, let's go. Let's go. King 2 here. New Alpha Comics in History, man. Part 3, man. Cosmic Wars, man. This is it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been hearing a lot. I've been getting a lot of feedback from this video. Last video, anyway. About eternity. Yeah, I'm saying it. Yes, eternity created the Celestials. You know, I hear a lot of comments I have, a lot of debates I went through, saying that, oh, no, eternity didn't create the Celestials. He didn't create the Celestials. Yes, he did. Eternity is the first firmament. I'm saying, but we're going to get into that. I'm going to run it all down. But first, got to get this out the way. You know what I'm saying? This one above all talk. Now, we got to understand that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee was living in a different time, a different era, a different world. They living in the 60s and the 70s making comics. You know, they cannot, under no circumstances, have a comic book that's atheist. You can't. I'm saying people will look at that like, what? You don't believe in God? It wouldn't make no money. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't get any business. You know, so DC did the same thing with the presents. You know, you have, in that day and time, you had to put, you know, a God in comics. But, you know, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the way they did it was like a joke. The God in Marvel Comics was Jack Kirby. He was the God, and the creator, the artist. That's it. But a lot of people took it literally, like one above all got the power, and he's granting, you know, such and such living tribunal is the second in charge, and one above all is the one that no. But now I want to talk about eternity and the first firmament. Now, the first firmament became aware of itself. I'm saying this is how I'm putting it. Became aware of himself. The first firmament was the first universe. I'm saying this. We talking maybe hundreds of billions of years ago. We bringing down the whole Marvel history. Now the first firmament became aware of himself, right? But the first firmament was lonely, had just one universe, and then they created the aspirants. The aspirants was the first Celestials. But the thing about the aspirants was they was life creators, they was builders. You know, obviously, the first firmament want them to keep the lights on. So they needed somebody to keep the lights on. So the aspirants was builders. They built stars and galaxies and life forms and things like that. But before they did it, they asked for permission for everything they did. They went to the first firmament and said, listen, we want to build this galaxy. Can we do it? First firmament said, yeah, go ahead. Or we want to build some life forms on this planet that we just built. Can we build them? Yes, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? It always went for permission. And then you have a small sect of aspirants that was not jacking that. They're like, why they gotta keep asking for permission? They wasn't jacking it. Then the aspirants, every life form that they made, every universe that they made, every planet that they made was immortal, was eternal, was living forever, was gonna go forever and forever. You know? And these small set of aspirants wasn't jacking it. They like, why are you making everything forever? Everything infinite? That doesn't make no sense. Nobody would know anything about nothing. People would just be relaxed. They won't even want no knowledge. They wouldn't want no understanding of nothing if everything is forever. And so, you know, they asked for permission for everything they did. And so one day, that small group of aspirants rebelled and started calling themselves Cestrials. You know what I'm saying? And their whole, you know, mentality and mindset was that death needed to be included with life. That a life needs to die and understand, like, and knows that he's dying, knowing that he's going to die, so that he can actually, you know, do some research and understand life and appreciate his life. You know, and even universes need to die. I'm saying everything needs an end. Obviously, they was like heretics for that. Obviously, the first firmament, like, looking at them, what? And the aspirants is looking like, you can't do that. And so obviously it was a cosmic war. Obviously it was way more aspirants. It was billions at this point in time. It was billions of aspirants. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it was a small number of Cestrials. You know what I'm saying? It was a few million Cestrials. But there was no match. You know, the aspirants was too strong, you know. But it was you know, taking them out. But actually in the comics, it gets vague there, where the aspirants was actually, like, basically arrogant. They was taking out the Cestrials so much that they just never mind them, and they started having a civil war with themselves. You know what I'm saying? And once they had a civil war with themselves, they don't really tell you why they had a civil war with themselves. You know what I'm saying? But you just hear that. But the Cestrials took advantage of them having a civil war with themselves, and they built these bombs, these type of cosmic bombs that they built. And they literally blew the aspirants all the way, shattered everything, even shattered the first firmament, you know? And that became the multiverse. The first firmament became the multiverse because it shattered into so many pieces, and every piece became a universe. And the first firmament was weakened, obviously, with the explosion. And so the first firmament became eternity, but the multiversal eternity. That eternity literally made aspects of himself and put it into every single universe. Every single universe has an eternity. And then he started making aspects of everything else that was in every universe. Like, for instance, you have, you know, I'm skipping ahead, but you would have like a Galactus in every universe. You would have a Dormammu in every universe. You know what I'm saying? You would have everybody in the same universe, but it's just a different, you know, radiation of the same person. But I'm gonna stay with the story. Now, multiversal eternity, he started making himself, copies of himself. Now the Cestrials are running wild now. The Cestrials are running wild. They're doing whatever they want to do now. They won the war. You know what I'm saying? But they don't understand that the multiversal eternity is way more powerful than the Cestrials. So they're having their fun now. They're making whatever they want to do. They're making life that's not eternal. They're making universes that's not eternal. They're doing their own thing. So the first firmament, the multiversal eternity, makes, the living tribunal. So the living tribunal steps to the Cestrials and say, listen, you're dubbed now. We're bringing y'all in. Listen, whatever you try, I could take your powers away and take y'all out of existence right now. Y'all don't listen to me right now, you out of here. And so the Cestrials, they tried them, but they seen that they could not defeat the living tribunal. So they had to listen. Basically, they ran down the rules. Listen, they agree. You can create life and you can create death. You know what I'm saying? No problem. But you have to follow our rules. And if you don't, you out of here. And so that been the case. The Cestrials survived because they followed the rules. You know what I'm saying? They followed the rules of what they wanted to do, of creation. Now, they had their rules, and the living tribunal was a whole nother being where it's only one living tribunal. One. In all the multiverse, it's only one living tribunal. And I'm only mentioning the living tribunal because he's actually was going to be in the MCU. Everything I'm mentioning right now is only MCU. I'm saying, I'm not mentioning anything that's not MCU. Anything, I'm saying, so living tribunal was actually going to be in Infinity Wars. You know what I'm saying? But they felt like, the audience wasn't ready for it. So when I told you in the last video that Eternity needs the Cestrials to keep the lights on, that's a fact. If you look at Eternity, he's full of stars, planets, and light. He don't care about life forms. He cares about light, planets, galaxies, things like that. And that's what the Cestrials do. They create stars, universes, galaxies, all that. The emergence is all over the universe, not just Earth. You know what I'm saying? We just watched Eternals, like, okay, emergence, yeah, 7 days. But in reality, if you think about it, Hulk snapped. The whole universe is overpopulated right now. The whole universe. And so this is what the Cestrials want. They want more Cestrials. So this is the thing. Galactus, he basically eats planets. And he eats the Cestrial seed to keep the Cestrials in check. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know how they're going to play this out. Like, obviously, the Eternals got the Unimind. The Unimind can stop the Cestrial from hatching. But the Cestrial has to agree with the Unimind. In Eternals, Tiamat helped them win the war right there, because if Tiamat didn't help them, they couldn't stop the emergence. And so, is other Cestrials going to be willing to sacrifice their life? No. So it's going to be a whole bunch of Cestrials being born all over the universe. But this is the key factor. Galactus. I think Galactus is going to have fun now, because he's going to come in, he's going to start eating planets all over the universe. You know what I'm saying? All over the universe. And so that's the big plot for me. That's one of the big plot lines. It's going down. It's going down. Do out for Comics of History, man. King 2. Out. Part 4, man. I ain't letting y'all digest what happened in part 3. Nah. Let's go. Run it down. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I ran down the whole creation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And one thing I want to, touch on is that these beings that I named and gave an origin story to are extremely powerful. I mean, like, this ain't like, a couple dudes on a corner, or a couple dudes on this block, or even a military war in another country. These people can do whatever they want. The aspirants, they're so powerful. They create worlds. They could destroy worlds with a wave of a hand. They could destroy galaxies, whatever they want. So them getting into a war with a Cestrial, they can destroy everything. I mean, their mass could destroy worlds, planets, galaxies, realms, whatever. They are so powerful. And that's what I want to, let y'all know. Like, these people are just like at a level like that's the strength level, the power levels are just unimaginable. At the first universe, eternity, can you imagine his power? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. And this where it starts. You know what I'm saying? This is where it started at for our universe. This video is about Arasham and the Cestrials. They popped on God and lived to tell about it. And this is about. Can you imagine? I mean, literally, they obviously was aspirants. And, they see Arasham and them, they see that, they're powerful. And they got the ability to create whatever they want to create. And the aspirants as a whole, as a collective, are basically like a hive mind. They don't have no thinking for this. They don't do no thinking for themselves. Everything they do, they have to get approval or permission to do. They all work in a unit. This is like, everyday life, but at a cosmic scale. People look for approval and permission to do things. You know what I'm saying? And the people that don't look for permission and approval to do things, they're looked at as, crazy, or he's crazy, he's bugged out, or, he's a conspiracy theorist or something like that. It's real. But this is on a cosmic level. Arasham, the prime ancestral, he's a real G. He took it to God. I'm gonna run it all down. This is New Alpha Comics in history. I'm saying this is what we do. We run it all down. And first of all, eternity obviously becomes aware of himself. You know what I'm saying? First universe. And if you look at the first firmament, and then you look at eternity, you see that he has a lot of dark parts in him. And if you look at the first firmament, he's completely lit up. That the first firmament is at its full strength. He's at its full power. You know what I'm saying? But the first firmament, when he became aware of himself, he started to realize that his power set is dwindling. And that he needs somebody to keep the light on him. The void of space is more powerful than him. It's taking his power. You know what I'm saying? So he needs creations that's going to keep him alive. The aspirants never knew none of this. The aspirants got created, and they thought they were just created to serve their master, yes. But they didn't know that they was only there to keep their master alive. And so, billions of years go by. The aspirants are creating planets and galaxies and life and all of that. And you got Arasham in them that obviously started off as aspirants, following the rules and everything. But after a while, if you got any type of sense, any type of awareness, not this woke stuff they're talking about now, awareness, any type of real awareness, when somebody is aware, they becomes aware of themselves first, and then they become aware of what's around them. You understand? And so Arasham became aware of the situation first. Like, wait a minute, I'm powerful, I'm gifted, I can do whatever I want to do. Yes, they created me, but why I gotta keep going to them for everything? Why I can't live my life? You know what I'm saying? This life is this is brilliant. This is something to be cherished, not to just to be a tool for just doing anything. What's going on here? Why are we just, everything is just infinite, and we just got to do this and do that all day long for this guy, for the first firmament? What's going on here? I'm not jacking this. Life should not be like this. We should not be slaves to a hive. This shouldn't be the way it's supposed to be. Life ain't meant like this. I'm saying we can't give everybody this. You have to cherish life. That's why he invented death. He wanted life to end. I got 2 theories on that though. 2. And obviously, the first one, he wanted to bring about the end of life. So people can understand, or life forms can understand and cherish their life and understand that they have to advance, learn about the secrets of life, and maybe they can achieve immortality by a quest for knowledge. And they put it all out there. And so they rebelled against God. You understand what I'm saying? They knew that it was billions of aspirants, billions of them. They couldn't win a war. They know they couldn't win a war with the aspirants. Remember, one aspirant, one, could destroy this universe. One. With a wave of his hand, he can destroy this universe. Just one. That's how powerful they are. Now you want to take on billions of them? It's something. Knowing you're going to lose. Knowing that your life is done. They still rebelled. Still rebelled and said, no, we ain't jacking this. We're not jacking this. This is not right. Something is wrong here. My existence is not to serve these people, serve the first firmament forever. No. I'm not a slave. I have a mind, a brain. You understand? I can do what I want to do. Facts. The aspirants is looking like, what are you doing? You can't go against our master. He's not our master. He's our creator. That's it. Remember, man, don't listen to the voices and keep your mind free. King 2, out. King 2, let's go. Part 5, God problems, man. That's what it is, man. Top of the line, top of the top. Just being God. Everybody want to be God. Everybody want to be the leader. But it's problems being the leader. You got people coming for your head. You got to be able to maintain. In eternity, he know how to maintain. You know what I'm saying? He know how to maintain everybody. All his enemies. He keep all his enemies right next to him. He's the pure example of the first example of, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. He got Lady Death. Lady Death wants him dead. He keeps her right there. He got Arasham and the Celestials. They want him dead. He keeps them working for him. Galactus. He wants him dead. But he keeps Galactus working for him. Noah wants him dead. He's still okay. He's still all right. And this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes him. And the life of a god is problems, but you got to handle them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break it all down. He's a walking multiverse. We are inside of him. His power set is unimaginable. Unimaginable. Just think about this. He created the aspirants, right? They are his servants, his slaves. So a slave of his has the power to create worlds, galaxies, suns. Can stand in and create a sun. The temperature of a sun is astronomical. They can stand in and create them like it ain't nothing. And this is the power that he gave his servants. He created the living tribunal, Galactus. These are ultra powerful beings that he just gave a tiny bit of his power to. He got the power to wipe this whole universe out, everything, the whole multiverse out with a wave of a hand. It's unbelievable, the power that he has, you know? He has an iteration of himself in every single multiverse. It's probably millions of different multiverses. Infinite. I mean, pieces got blown off him. Can you imagine how big he is? If he gets pieces of himself blown off him, and those pieces become multiverses. Like, this guy is vast. This guy is unimaginable, you know? But once again, he got problems. He got problems. First of all, Lady Death wants him dead. Her whole plan is to kill him. That's it. That's her whole plan. It's his sister, but she wants him dead. You know, we got Galactus. He wants him dead. He hates Eternity too. That's what Eternity did to him, making him feed on planets. He wants him dead. Of course, Arishan wants him dead because he don't want to follow any more rules. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants him dead. It's real. But you know what? They can't do nothing about it. They all working for him. I mean, people don't understand. Eternals and Odin and the Asgardians, that's real world history. Like in our world, our reality. I'm saying Odin and Thor existed in our reality. I mean, we got ancient world pictographs and clay tablets and statues and all type of stuff of Odin, Loki, Thor, even Mjolnir, Freya, Flacca, his wife, it all there. His horse, everything. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they didn't just come out, just sit at the desk one day and just start just writing down stuff, like just making everything up. No, they studied history. They studied the so-called mythology that they give us. It's not mythology. Why is mythology? Like for instance, the movie Eternals. Where they landed at? That's not random. They landed in Mesopotamia. And they call that the cradle of civilization. But they also say, oh, it's mythology too. How could it be the cradle of civilization and mythology? Nah, somebody lying. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want you to look into it. That's all. They want you to everybody to think primitive. No. In the ancient world, they didn't think at all like us. We think it's so primitive, so I gotta go to work and I gotta do this, I gotta take care of the kids, go to church or something like that. We think so primitive. Our ancestors never did that. Our ancestors was linking up with civilizations from other worlds, superpowered beings. They was literally a whole Marvel universe back then. This is why, like, people be like, oh, why don't you just name your channel New Alpha Comics? Like, no. Why you putting history on the back? Because we do history here. Real history, Then you got the you got Cain the Conqueror, and people trying to say that, obviously if you watch Loki and Cain the Conqueror, he literally controlled the whole timeline from beginning to end. He was saying that he's old. I'm saying we don't know how old, he who remains was. I'm saying he could have been billions of years old, for all we know. I'm saying, and so that's intriguing, like that he controls the timeline for that long. So he's seen the beginning of the universe. So he never elaborated on it, but he's seen the beginning of the universe. I'm saying, so it's something going forward. Hope they tap into, and show what he's seen, how the Earth started, how the universe started. I mean, if I don't know, it's a lot to it. But I would like to see what he's seen. And as far as Arishan and Eternity, obviously, Arishan wants to get his numbers up. And, Arishan running game right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he's trying to breed. He get a planet, and he set up the Eternals, he set up the Deviants, he set all that up, and he's trying to get the populations to be overpopulated so that his Celestial can hatch. Now, his Celestial hatches in about 1 million years, right? So now he'll tell Eternity, Okay, I'm building this sun for you. I'm building this galaxy for you. That's gonna take billions of years. Billions. 20, 30 billion years for it to settle and, get right. So if we got 20, 30 billion years for eternity to wait for this star to get done so he can get his, he's already building man, he got 1 million years for ancestral. He's trying to arm up. Eternity knows this. So that's why he got Galactus in the mix, trying to stomp out his ancestrals that's in planets. So it's a numbers game right now.
We are not gods. We're born, we live, we die, just as humans do.
In Sumer, the Anunnaki, 1 year to them was 3,600 years, and they would seem like they was like eternal. Like obviously they're gonna be alive for kids, like that know about them. So you're gonna always see them, but in reality, their years are just longer than our years. Simple as that. And who knows if we go to another planet, we'll live longer. It's just our atmosphere, Simple as that. And we just have to understand that, man, and look. That's all. Just look. It's right there in your face. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. New Alpha Comics in history, man. King 2, out. Let's go. King 2, man. You already know what time it is, man. Top of the top. Top of the line, man. Part 6, man. Mentalities, man. That's what it is, man. It's about mentalities. It's like, what type of mentality you got? Is you ready to go and put everything on the line? Or are you just ready to fold? You can imagine the Galactus coming to our solar system. Anybody's solar system, for that matter. And he just starts eating planets. And it's nothing our planets, any planets, weaponry or could do to get Galactus away from us. They can shoot whatever weapon they want. It's not going to stop him. He's just going to continue to just eat planets. And it's nothing nobody can do. It's a terrifying thing, seeing Galactus. Because that means the planet is dead. It's nothing nobody can do. He eats planets. So the depth of his character is going to be crazy. So they have to do a backstory on him. When he comes, he eats planets. But he does this because he wants to save his own life. And this comes into mentalities. Eternity picked the right guy for the job. He made the living tribunal to follow orders. That's it. He made Galactus to follow orders. He made the Cestrals to follow orders until Arashan spoke up. And it's about mentalities. We can't think primitive. We have to be thinking about advancing, traveling, time travel, space travel, all of that. That's supposed to be regular conversations in the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? Our dinner table discussions is like so primitive when everybody else is thinking so cosmic, it's so multiversal, and we thinking so primitive. No, there's no more thinking like that. Here in New Alpha Comics in history, we ain't no thinking like that. Our thinking is purely cosmic. You know what I'm saying we on it's top of the top here. Nobody ain't gonna be able to affect what we doing or deflect what we doing, because what we doing is history. You know what I'm saying we doing history, and like I said, things is different here. And to think about mentalities and strategy. Like Arashan, he wants war. You know what I'm saying, but something he can't win. He knows the only thing eternity needs is light, galaxies, planets, all of these things to keep him alive. Arashan knows this, so what he wants to do is get enough soldiers in enough planets. He don't care about the celestial hatching and destroying the life forms on the planet. He don't care about that because, like I said, he could build more life forms. It's nothing. So, we all talk about, all our religious books talk about revelations and things like that in the end of time. They could be talking about when Arashan get enough soldiers and try to fight God. Because listen, once that happened, everything is destroyed. Just knowing that, things on a cosmic level. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they put a story together that we have to expand on and keep it going forward for the next generation. This story is never ending. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we need to understand what's really going on and free our minds, because we need to start innovating. All people. You know what I'm saying? Not waiting to be innovated on. You understand? You have a compass of history, man. King 2, man. Out.